Hello and welcome to the #Ambitious podcast. In this episode, we have Amy Wordsworth. Amy is the founder of Good Wobble, a range of natural bath and hair products for children. Amy also did a successful pitch on the television show The Dragon's Den, with Deborah Meaden as her investor. This is Amy's journey. Amy, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you for
So can we just
having
start with a little bit about yourself and your background?
Of course. So my name's Amy. I'm the founder of Good Wobble. We have a naturally derived and organic range of toiletries for babies and children. They're free from any harsh ingredients, and they are suitable for newborns and those with sensitive skin as well. We launched in 2014. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but we're still going and growing well. And that's where we are today, really.
So how did you come up with the idea?
So my background is advertising and marketing, actually. So that's what I studied at university. And I actually worked for an agency in London on their grad scheme. That's how I came through. I had to pitch myself in a lift to the company directors.
In a lift?
Actually in a physical lift.
Is that part of the interview process? Or
Yeah.
Really?
It was part of the whole grad scheme thing. So you had to queue up outside the office and you had to stand in a lift with 3 of the company directors. And it took you up to the next floor and you had to pitch yourself to them in 30 seconds as to why they should give you a job.
Oh, wow.
Which was, very weird. But somehow, I did it. I think I said a poem or something like that, and it works. And then you get a 6-week placement.
Yeah.
So there were 4 of us that were offered the placement, and then from that, 2 of us were selected. So that's kind of how I started out. I worked for a couple of years as a planner for Saatchi Saatchi X, the shopping marketing agency, and loved it. Got to work on some really good brands, learned a lot from them, but started to think I'd love to do something for my own brand, and really saw this niche in the market for a toiletries brand for little ones that was kind to the skin, but there was also fun. It seemed like at the time that all those fun brands, like your old school Matey and all your licensed character brands, maybe weren't so kind to the skin, and those that were kind to the skin, that were like natural and organic, used quite soft, subtle shades that maybe the packaging wasn't as fun. So I kind of wanted to bring those 2 elements together and make something that was interactive and that the child liked to look at and was attracted to, but that was also gentle and kind to the skin, that parents felt comfortable using on their child.
Okay, well, I mean, I've got no experience with these type of products, but I can imagine skincare products, hair products, just to be very complex. It's not like starting a t-shirt business anything like that. There must be so much background research to it. Are you able to talk through the process?
Absolutely, so I'm very lucky. I've grown up in a family business that manufactures toiletries. So from a young age, I've been kind of in the industry. As soon as I was 16, I used to work on the production lines in the school summer holidays, putting bottles on, screwing caps. But I've seen the whole process, really, and I've worked in the lab as well. So it's a family business. My parents own the contract manufacturers. My husband is the chief engineer here, so him and my dad build the machines that actually fill the product into the bottles. My cousin is the cosmetic scientist, so he helps develop the formulations. And my mum buys in the materials and all of that. She manages the commercial side. I've got a very close kind of network of people that have very strong skill sets that were able to help me along the way, really. So I came to my parents with this idea for the brand, and together with my cousin as well, we had a look at different formulations about the kind of ingredients that we wanted to include, or that I didn't want to include in the formulations. And really it was a big list because I'd done a lot of research, and there were some ingredients that I just wanted to keep out because I felt like they were more harsh on the skin, and there was some evidence behind that. So it was probably about 2 years in development.
Wow.
I think I washed my hair like 5 times a day at some point.
So were you the guinea pig, were you, as well?
Yeah. Along with, I had some friends that had kids that were willing to try them out. But in the early days, I mean, if I try it out and it's not great, then that's okay. You know, when you're very first starting out and before you've passed a few tests and things, you just want to make sure that it's you that deals with any consequences. You know,
wake up
turn
with
a
no
child's hair green or something. Yeah. As the more it went on, we kind of had this great network of people that were willing to try the products. Then we got to this formulation that we were happy with, that was stable, that had been tested. And then we put it forward for no tears testing. Okay. So we work with a local lab and a qualified optician, and basically we recruit a panel of volunteers, and it's literally you have the product dropped in your eyes. And I was one of those, so you're kind of there with this product like coming into your eyes. And we actually failed the first time because the formulation was it had too many bubbles in, and it irritated the eye, so we had to go right back to the drawing board, do it all again. Basically the stuff that creates the bubbles, the surfactants, were at too high a level. Okay. So we wanted to get that fine balance of creating a formulation that was mild and that was kind to the tears, so we dropped that level. But you also, the kids like bubbles, and you want a bubbly product.
I remember being a kid in a bubble bath, best time ever.
You want your bubble beard and your bubble hat.
Mum would come in and just be foam everywhere.
My kind of foam party. So it's like with a 2-year-old at 6 o'clock every night.
You just stay in till your fingers go wrinkly, you never want to come out.
No.
So when it didn't work first time during the testing, I mean, how did you feel about that? Was it?
It was a blow, because I mean you've worked on it so long, and it's hard not to feel like, oh, this has failed. But really, my cousin and the production team here weren't worried, because they said, we are there with the bones of the formulation. It's just about altering the surfactant levels, really, to dropping that down, so that it still works, but just so it's got a good balance of being kind to the eyes. Yeah. And then we submitted it again, and I felt I could feel the difference. I tried it the first time, I could feel that it stung. I wouldn't have wanted that to go onto the market. And then the second time when we tried it, I could feel the difference. And you have a benchmark product dropped in your eyes that's already been approved, that is already no tears, and then you have yours. And I could feel that the benchmark did sting more than mine, that it was fine. So I could feel the difference, so I knew that those changes that we'd made to the formulation made it milder, and that was something that I was then happy to sell. That's something that was like, right, okay, we've passed this. I'm happy for this.
So when you release a product, like what you sell, does it have to be approved by a body or something before it can go on the market?
So, well, you have to go through standard industry testing. So it has to be safety assessed, and because it's a baby and child's product as well, we went through an extra round of safety assessment so that we could confirm that it was suitable for newborns. And they have a look at the ingredients, and for any, like, we wanted to claim cruelty free and we wanted to claim vegan as well, so there's a lot of work that goes behind that, and I have to prove that the ingredients that we put in the products and the suppliers that we get them on, that they don't test on animals, and I have to speak with all suppliers to get all that data in. So there's a lot of testing that you have to do for it, and a lot of data you have to.
It sounds like there's so many barriers to entry. At any point you just think, no, what am I doing?
I mean, it seems like when you first get the idea of going out and setting up your own business, it's like, right, I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to be in charge of my own time. I can go on holiday whenever I want. And this is the way forward. But you quickly realise that, oh my God, it's not 9 till 5.
Nope.
You can't switch off. It's like having a child.
Yeah.
And really, I have a little boy now. I didn't have children when I first started the brand, so it was kind of like my first baby in a way, but it is constant, and you yourself have to find a way to switch off somehow, in the dark hours of the night, just so you can get a few hours sleep. But unlike a 9 till 5 job, it is, it is, there's the perks, there's the pros and the cons that come with it, and it isn't all rosy on the other side. You don't have the security, so then I had a child, and you don't have the same maternity benefits and that kind of stuff, and all this I didn't really think about when I started, but I wouldn't change a thing, because I've learned so much and I love it. It's my passion. But it comes with sacrifices, and that's the thing.
Got a lot of friends who say to me, I want to start a business. I go, well, why do you want to start? They go, because I can come and go when I please. And I was like, you aren't coming and going.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. You're not going on holiday when you want. You're going to be crying at 2 a.m. in the morning. You'll get an email, everything's going to go wrong.
Yeah, you do. And
just the way it is, isn't it?
It is the way it is. I think everything feels amplified, there isn't a cushion between you and the customer, or if somebody's got a problem, then you deal with it. But then if somebody has praise for you, if somebody, if you've helped a child's skin, if you've won an award, that is also amplified. The reward that you feel for doing that, and the achievement that you feel, it offsets it, and it's definitely worth it.
So because you started the company yourself, and as you say, it's like your baby, how have you found it hard stepping away and delegating things to people?
It is, and I'm a control freak. I'm the first one to admit.
No one can do a job better than yourself, can
I know. And I think I've got an amazing team here. First took on our first team member in 2016. So for 2 years, 2014 to 2016, I was doing it on my own with the help and support of the family business, but very much setting up the brand on my own. And then I brought Grace on board, and then earlier this year Rachel, our marketing social media girl, came on, and then my sister's recently joined us as well, so it's an all girl team. I love that, absolutely love that. And we all get along so well, and I feel the benefit of when I do give up. As a business owner, you have to release some control. You can't spin all of the plates. Something's going to fall. And actually, there are people that can do it better than you. And you should focus on what you're good at and let other people bring these on board 100%. To do. I'll be the first to say, I'm not a saleswoman. I prefer to do the branding, and I prefer to be involved in the creative process and the marketing and that side. So we've got sales consultants that do that for us. And it's about finding the people that have those skills to make it work, because it's less about you and it's more about the business. So you're working for one of the best advertising agencies in the world. It's a fantastic career. I mean, people would kill to have your role. You come to your family and say, I've got this idea. Did they take it seriously, or did they try and convince you to drop it? There was a bit of like what are you doing? You've got this fantastic opportunity there, and I felt a bit guilty on, cause I feel like I had worked really hard at Saatchi X, and I could have had a career, but there was something else that was just. I knew there was this niggle, and I thought, if I don't really, I was at an age where, you know, I didn't have any other responsibilities, and so I felt like, right, if this is a failure now, then I can deal with it. So at least I can try it now, try it while I'm young, and then if it doesn't work, I know that there's maybe something that I can fall back on. Whereas the older you get, I think the more responsibilities you have, and then the harder it is to try something new because you've got more risks. So for me, although it did feel like a big risk at the time, and when I spoke to my mum and dad, they were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?" Because they've got their own business and they understand. But they could see it in me, and I think growing up, when you see, I've seen my parents, and I think you kind of have that in your blood, like the way that they run their business and stuff, and I think they knew there's no talking around this. We've just got to support her.
Same with myself. So my mum and dad, they had their own business. My mum had a flower shop. She was up at 4 a.m. in the morning to go to the market, and then after school I'd be in the business while they were working on it. So when you grow up in that environment,
you live and breathe it, don't you?
I can't tell if it's genetics or your environment really, or maybe a bit of both.
I think so.
Yeah.
Both.
So, you're on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Oh my god. So it was 2015. So I launched the brand. It had been a year, and I just felt like I need some investment here. Like, I need a pot of money, because all the retailers wanted marketing support, and I only started out with £2,000 to create the brand, and initially in the startup I had a bit of help from my parents, but really it was more expertise and knowledge than financial support, because I did want to do it myself, and I didn't want to have to, ask them for money. And I thought, if I can do this myself, if I can maybe bring an investor on board, then that could help the business. So that's why I applied to Dragon's Den. And I mean, I always kind of have my eye on Deborah, because she's just the right match for us. I think she's an ethical investor. She's interested in eco and green products, and I kind of thought she'd be a really good partner for us. So I applied online, and then got a call from the one of the researchers who asked me a lot of questions, and then you have to go in and you do like a trial like pitch to them, and then they call you back, and it's all over a few weeks.
Oh, is it that fast, is it?
Yeah, really. I think I originally applied. Might have been a couple of months, but it is like, come back next week, and then just. But I was called to filming on the very first day that they were shooting for the new series, and I waited in the green room. So you show up at about 6 a.m. Everyone's there, getting set up, and they say, right, you need to just wait in the green room until you come on, until you're called on. But you don't know what order you're going in. You don't know how long that's going to be. So you're basically just sat in this room, like pumped full of adrenaline. And they've got Dragon's Den previous episodes on play on this massive screen, and you're looking at all these people going, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? But I didn't end up being called on that day, because I think Peter Jones had sciatica or something. He had to go. There was a few issues, and I actually I was told to come back another day, and it just felt like such a blow to be sat there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're ready with your pitch and you're prepared all weekend, and then, sorry, we can't see you today. And I was like, oh, got a bit of a relief, okay, but then I've actually got to come back and I've got to do it again. And I was ready for it. So then I come back another day, and then again, you're waiting in that green room, and then they finally call you on. But it had been a while. I've been sat in there, and then you go into the den, and I mean, I think we were filming for probably about an hour and a half, going on for 2 hours, and that's quite difficult to understand, I think, when you're watching the show, because they edit it into 15 minutes or something. And then obviously, as the pitch progressed, I was feeling a little bit warm and a little bit lightheaded, and all of a sudden I was like, I really need to sit down. So that's when I think you see it on TV, this big dramatic moment where Tuka and Sarah come out with the water and the chair, and oh God. I just thought, I'm never coming back. I just want to go home, I just want to go to bed, and we'll just call it a day now, because this is a big flop. But I didn't. I thought, no, you know what? I'm not done. I've got more to say.
Yeah.
So I sat up stood up, and I think actually Deborah says that was one of the reasons why she invested in the end, because she saw that there was a bit of, what does she call it? Steeliness or something. I don't know, but I think it showed that I was serious, and that I would say I'm quite resilient, and you know, I can get back up again after you've fallen over. So you know, that I think made a difference. So I got back up, but as soon as that happened, obviously, right, that's the bit that's going to be on telly. That's the dramatic.
It's going to be on the advert. It's going to be on.
Exactly. Oh, it was as well in all the trailers. Oh no, I did get a bit of a ribbon from my sisters and everybody else, but do you know, it happens, and I think it's
happened to me. I was doing a marketing seminar, and it happened to me. It's just like, hang on, everybody, I need to sit down.
You do, don't you?
People running over giving me water. It's like, I've got to get back up now. I've got another hour to do this. It just happens. It's humans, isn't it?
It is. And there's a thing about being stood on your feet. I think they say all the blood goes to your feet, and then that's why you feel lightheaded.
Dragons, it's a lot of
Yeah, so I mean, it's not one that I'd be willing to relive.
But you got back up fighting, and you succeeded what you went out to succeed. I always think Dragon's Den is one of those things. It's like football. Everyone watching knows best. Oh, I'd have done this to do this.
Yeah.
But I can imagine the actual process to be a million times harder than what people see on television.
I know.
So, what preparation did you do for it?
So much. I mean, I think I'd watched so many episodes before, because I was like, right, I kind of want to get a hang of what questions they ask, and so I've got this photo of I'm at my parents' house, and I've got them lined up. So it's my mum, my dad, my husband, and my sisters are lined up, and they're the dragons. So they're sat on the dining room chairs, and this is the weekend before, and I'm there, and they've got all their questions that they need to ask me, and I just stood in the living room, and I was like, okay, ask me another one. So just tried to I knew my numbers, and you know, that's the thing. I think on the show it does focus a lot on, because I went lightheaded, that was kind of like the key piece. But I was quite proud of, I went in the den. I did know what I was talking about.
You did a lot of preparation. As you were saying that, I was thinking, how was it more difficult to do it in front of your family or the dragons? There's something strange about doing something like that to your own family, isn't it?
That's very true. And I think the adrenaline helps you round. The adrenaline helps you with the dragons, whereas when you're just with your family, you know, and if you don't answer something right, they'll tell you honestly.
Oh yeah.
You said what?
So you went in, if I'm right, it was for 60,000 you wanted 15%, is that right? The original.
Yeah.
But you ended up 60,000 for 40%, is that right?
So it's quite a jump.
What was your thought process? Because it looks very short on the television. Do you go away? How?
Yeah, and I think some people watching were like, well, she's not even negotiated there. What's she doing? She's just taking it. And I think I understood that there is a process, and the dragons always try and drive you up, and so that 60,000 for 15% was quite a low number, and you go in low because you know that they're going to try and push you up. So before I went in my head, 40% was the ceiling. I didn't really, if I'm honest, I didn't have anything else to go off because the other dragons had backed out, and that was Deborah's offer. If you get another offer, then it's easier to negotiate. But in my head, I was like, right, okay, I'm still the majority shareholder. I still felt if I'm like it was a reasonable valuation of the business at the time. And it was kind of like, that was like 40% and no higher is what I thought in my head. So I was happy with that, and I think I don't have any regrets with that.
So how is things different from being on the show and now working with Deborah?
Oh my god, it has kind of gone a bit nuts, really. So I think, you know, when you go on these kind of shows, like you can go to an investor that isn't on Dragon's Den, and you can probably get a much higher level of investment for a smaller share. But what the dragons do bring, and what the TV show brings, is a level of exposure and also the contacts in the industry. I tried with Sainsbury's before. I'd been turned away, and all it took really was an email from Deborah, and it was the right time, and I had the samples, I had the right information, and you know, it wasn't just Deborah getting this in Sainsbury's, there was still some work there, but it just helped open that door. And it really took off from there. So we launched into Sainsbury's in 2016, and then in 2017 the Gruffalo approached us because they'd seen us in Sainsbury's. And then earlier this year we launched in Boots, and it was the Boots buyer that approached us because they'd seen that, and it kind of has a knock-on effect, really. Unfortunately, I think we went into Sainsbury's a little bit too early because I think the brand was too small at the time, and we aren't in Sainsbury's anymore because we didn't reach the sales. So, you know, we've had the knockbacks as well as the successes, and it is a roller coaster. I you know, and there's still plenty of opportunities there, but I think I don't have any regrets because everything is now because of what's happened in the past.
So how did you feel so Sainsbury's was your first retail stockist, was it?
Yeah, well, we were in Ocado before that, but Sainsbury's was like the first big one, really. So how did you feel when you first got your products? Because they're not just products, they are your babies, aren't they? And when you see them on the stores, it's like, it's so surreal.
You just want to grab everything and go, man, someone take a photo with me.
I've had so many, they call them shelfies. Like,
shelfies, I like that.
Selfies next to the shelf, like, hello, this is me and my brother. So yeah, it is really, it's good. It's a really good feeling to see them on the shelf, and there is a sense of achievement there. But yeah, I'm a bit like, how many more shelves can we get on? What can we do next? You know, like
start moving everyone else's product out the way.
Give yours a bit of a shine.
Move it all to the front. So, what's the? Obviously, don't give away any of your secrets, but. What's the process to get them into a retail store? Is it very complicated?
Yeah, it is, and it depends which retailer you're talking to. But I have like an introduction deck that I sent over that, you know, gives all the information about our products, about the ingredients. The buyer will probably want to know what's different about you, and I have a competitor analysis that kind of draws that out. And in a way, it's quite easy for me because it's a very good product. You know, it's a high quality formulation and it's an affordable price. So our issue is brand awareness, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. Is trying to get more people to know about us. Because we're finding that when people do try the products, most of them love them, and they're helping lots of children with dry and sensitive skin. So really, it's just it kind of persuading the buyer to give it a shot, to try it out, and then hopefully they'll be happy with what they see.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you're B2B to C, is that right?
Yeah.
So you still have to do.
We are also B2C because we do sell online as well. So we sell direct to the customer versus direct to the customer online. On our website, but also then we do through Amazon as well, so that would be B2B.
But it's not just, I can imagine it's not just a case that it goes in the shop and then they sell themselves. You must have to do a lot of marketing behind that. Is that do the retailers expect that from you? Do you have certain targets and
Definitely.
things?
There is a level of investment that you have to kind of agree with them beforehand, and so you have to take that into account, because it's not just like the margin of what cost you're selling your product at. It's also there will be a level of investment that they expect with regards to either promotion on shelf, or if they've got an online version, then they might want banners on their website, they might want to include you in newsletters, etc. They might want to do, like, there's all sorts you can do with like couponing and promotions, but there will be a level of expectation that you at least do a few promotions during the year, and you have to fund those promotions as well. So it is difficult dealing with the bigger retailers, and you have to have a pot of money at first to be able to invest in that marketing support. Payment terms aren't always the best either.
I can imagine.
They can set lengthy payment terms and then expect, and if you're paying them for any support, you have to pay them straight away. So it's that gap for the cash flow is sometimes hard to manage.
Because I think from the outside, people think it's just a case of you get your product in, it's on the shelves, you're a millionaire. It's not the case, is it? There's so much work behind it, and so much relationship building. And
a lot of it's relationship building, absolutely, and it is just it's a constant process. You can't just put them on the shelf and leave them. It takes a lot of work behind the scenes. My team are working really hard at sending out samples, and we have like a GB VIP loyalty program where we invite people to come on board, try the product, and like send us an honest review. And most absolutely love them, and it's those reviews really that are crucial to the business, because I think especially with babies and children's products, parents really look at reviews because you want a brand that you can trust. And if you've not heard of it before, whereas most parents haven't heard of us before, you want the reassurance of a good review to know that, okay, I can trust this product that I'm going to use.
How are you going about your marketing, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we're doing it, most of it in-house, but I took Rachel on, is our social media marketing manager, and I think social media especially, like, it's not just, you can't just do it as and when, can you? It's not just a part-time thing. You have to be on it all of the time, because people ask you questions and want replies and don't want to wait until it's 9 a.m. when you reopen. They want, and so Rachel and Sally are working really hard on like the social media side. So
is that what's working for you, the social media? Is that where you spend the most of your energy? Yeah,
we focus a lot on Instagram. We find that that's where a lot of new mums are. A lot of parents, also influencers who might be happy to try the products and then recommend the products themselves. Yeah, we've had some great ones like Sam Fairs, The Only Way is Essex, you tried them, and from that you get that level of recognition that you kind of need.
Are you going to go after more celebrity parents?
Yeah, I think we do send the products out if we see that maybe someone's had a baby or might be like willing to try them. But also,
Harry and Meghan are just
Harry, Meghan, we could send you some.
You should try them.
So I think it's just that it's constant, and it is just keep going to try and spread the awareness.
So one of my favourite brands is Virgin, and when you think of Virgin, you can't not think of Richard Branson. His personal branding is brilliant. And when I was looking at news articles and articles online, what I noticed, which I haven't seen a lot of, was comments from customers saying they'd met you at a retail store or some sort of event and how much they liked you as a person. I just wondered if you're going to explore your personal brand more at all, because I just thought people seem to really buy into you and your honesty and who you are, and I just thought, is that something you're going to explore?
I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice to hear when like you've made an impact, and especially I think like some of those are from exhibitions and trade shows that we do, where like, I work on the stand, so we'll see a lot of customers face to face, and if anyone's got any questions, then you know I'll try and spend as much time with them, like telling them about the formulation and why the product might be good. I get so self-conscious though that it's hard to be like, oh, I don't know if I want to draw attention to myself, but I prefer to be kind of like working away behind the scenes.
In the background,
but if it helps the brand, it might be something that you know I'm willing to do. I just have to like work on not being so awkward.
I don't think you're awkward at all. I'm really interested in yourself as well, and when we look at businesses now, especially today with how we can access social media and people behind the businesses. So, I mean, it takes a very strong character to set up a business, and you've already shown how strong you are by saying things, but I'd love to get to know yourself a bit more. So, just in terms of like, you were at Saatchi Saatchi X, and like, just your time there and what you were able to bring from that into your own business, if you've been able to bring anything at all.
So, as a planner, you have to do a lot of research, a lot of reading. I really enjoy like researching different markets and industries. And we did work on quite a few Proctor Gamble brands. So Oral-B was one, but also Pampers was another one. And I think it was doing some research for Pampers. That's where I came across some of the stats that I used to support my proposal for launching Good Bubble, because it was all about children's toiletries, nappies and wipes, and it was all part of the same report that I was reading. What did I bring to Saatchi's? I don't know. I've still got a lot of friends from there. I think there's something about being from the north and being, you know, a Manchester girl, and I am quite friendly, and I just kind of like took that attitude down and just wanted to learn as much as I could from them, really. So made a lot of friends with a lot of skill sets, and actually one of the designers that I met there is the designer for Good Bubble, so she's taken on the project, and she's brilliant. And you know, I think it's really funny how like life kind of introduces these people to you that then play these roles, like, and you never even imagine it at the start, but I think the relationships that are built there were valuable, really. And then what did I bring to them? I don't know. A level of enthusiasm and energy, and I did a lot of presentations for them, showed them what was new in the industry, and
do you be able to? So it's just interesting how your previous experience also interlinks with people and experiences, what you do today, doesn't it? You're obviously super driven. What is it that's driving you?
I have no idea.
Coffee.
Black coffee. I think that changes. I think your source of motivation changes. At the moment, my drive mainly, I would say, comes from my little boy, Freddie. You know, wanting to do the best for him, and I think, you know, there's an element of you do want to build this brand for your family, and you know you got to put bread on the table, you've got to do all that kind of thing. But I don't know. I think there's a real sense of achievement I get when I see that our products have helped other children and other babies. And this year we've seen a lot of that. The more people that are buying our products, are trying them out on their little ones that have sensitive skin, eczema-prone skin, a lot of them have seen a difference. We can't help everyone, we know that, and we know every child's skin is unique, and we always advise a patch test first. But those before and after pictures that we're seeing, you know, it's like, wow, my product is making a difference.
Yeah.
And this one woman's story about her little one really touched me, and it makes me cry nearly every time I hear it. But she was saying that they literally couldn't leave the house because her little boy, he was called Freddie as well, would scratch himself so much and was in so much pain with his eczema, and he was on steroids and all sorts, and she said that Good Bubble was the only thing that they changed, and it made such a difference.
Wow.
And to see the after pictures, I was just amazed at, like, we've made a difference in this person's life. And you know, that's not something that I originally set out to do. You know, I just wanted to create a fun, gentle bath time brand. But when you hear stories like that, it's like, wow, it's actually helping and making a difference. Yeah. Awesome. That is probably the real motivation. Yeah. That's
brilliant.
Yeah.
So just in terms of yourself, how do you stay sharp? Do you read any books, listen to any podcasts, watch any YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I love TED Talks. I've always loved TED Talks. Yeah, I know they're real. If I need some inspiration, that's probably my go-to. But yeah, I really like Wayne Dyer.
I love Wayne Dyer.
Yeah. I just think he's so cool. And he had some amazing inspirational talks that I'll listen to on my drive to work, and it'll really set me up for the day. And you know, that kind of the kind of outlook on life and the reason why you're here and why you're doing what you're doing. Legend.
So I mean, I've only got a couple more questions now, so I'll let you go with the rest of your day. But you mentioned it before, just in terms of it's life as work, isn't it? So what do you do to wind down?
I like running. Running is probably like the one kind of way that I can really just kind of put my trainers on and get out and just kind of let off some steam. If it's been a hard day or a long day, and just really re-energise and just kind of come back to home and kick off my shoes and just be with my family.
Do you run with music or?
Yeah, I do. I've got a playlist. I like to listen to my playlist and just let it out, because it is if you sat behind a desk like for a lot of the day, you can feel a bit. I think everyone feels like that, don't they? Like, I just need to get out and let it out. So that helps a lot. So that's it really, and just kicking back with the family and enjoying a gin.
This is brilliant. Thank you so much. Have you got anything else you want to say, or?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for inviting me to be on the podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you can, it would mean the world to me if you subscribed, liked, shared, reviewed, or left a comment. That way, we can keep bringing out content that helps you on your journey. Thank you.